Battlefield 6? Wow.
So, the Battlefield 6 beta is under our belt now. I'm Ashton. We've got Nicole here. We've got Sam here, and we're going to talk about it. First off, I want to talk about Battlefield in like a holistic way. Battlefield for me is like, it's a special game for me, but only specifically like from 3, 4, and like Battlefield 1. Battlefield 1 was like my favorite. That was like, that blew me away.
Good game.
And it even still has like a fan base today. But I haven't played one since then. I've been kind of disappointed by the reception of the other ones, and I kind of fell off military shooters in general. I lost like a group to play with, and I just haven't been very inspired by what's been coming out over the last couple of years. But Battlefield 6 seemed to be like a return to form, like a return to those Battlefield 3 and 4 days. That was kind of me. I was going into Battlefield open beta, hoping for it to recapture what I love so much about Battlefield 3 and 4. We'll have to see if it actually did that. But first, I'm interested to hear what you guys' background with Battlefield was before going into Battlefield 6.
I feel like we're kind of similar. Like the last Battlefield game I played was also one. I liked it. I wouldn't say that I was like a hardcore fan of it. I did enjoy it for what it was worth. Didn't really vibe with 5. Never actually played it. 2042, saw the glitches, thought, no. Yeah, I mean, I've not really played like any military shooters in a long time. I think the last military shooter that I played was the 2019 Modern Warfare. That was the last one that I played. They just don't, I don't vibe with them anymore. Like I used to like back in, the Modern Warfare 2 days and Black Ops days, like those were the shit. Like those were the shit.
They were.
I kind of feel like my love for like military shooters has gone downhill quite a bit. Apart from Halo, we'll always love Halo.
I didn't really play Battlefield. The only one I played was 1943 back when I was a kid, and that was the only Battlefield experience I had. I played COD, obviously. In terms of military shooters, the only thing as close to that as I play is Rainbow Six Siege, which is like so not military in terms of like what you actually use. And comparatively, I am always going to think that, say, the Rainbow Six is like my number one for just how tactical it is. And I feel like Battlefield was okay, but it's very messy, and it kind of reminds me of the things I don't like about, and forgive me for saying this, Battlefront games. I love the Star Wars Battlefront games, but they are so massive that you can't keep an eye on everything.
But they're
so
good. They're good.
No, I enjoy them, but
Good. They're fun.
Not for me. Not for me.
Ewok cunt scares me.
Yeah, same actually. That's terrifying.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm just going to say right now, I really enjoyed my time with Battlefield 6's open beta. I thought that it was a really fun time. I think it's missing a little bit of what made 3 and 4 special, but it's a step in the right direction, I would say. I think part of the problem, Nicole just mentioned how like things are too big, and so it's hard to like keep track of everything. I don't think they're big enough. I think that the maps that they chose for this beta, I've seen this a lot online as well, they're too small. Like Battlefield is Battlefield. It's about the massive war-like huge map with 64 people, and you are in a squad of 4 people trying to make your way through it and like work interchangeably with each other, but also like being a part of a bigger whole, right? Like that's the whole thing. Like the idea is it's way bigger, it's way more open, but there's still supposed to be a lot of like teamwork. And when Battlefield is working the best, it's when there's like 5, 6 capture points and objectives around the map, and everyone is kind of like, all the squads are like doing their own thing, but you within the squad are working together really, really well. And then you all of a sudden you notice, oh, a bunch of the people from our entire team are heading to this point, and there's a couple smaller people heading to this point. We should go, like, let's figure out who to go to. Let's work with them. Let's support them. Let's talk to each other. And it's just jets flying over you, helicopters coming down, fucking tanks blowing up everywhere, buildings exploding, and it's chaos, but it's also like just so massive without losing that teamwork, because Battlefield 6 is all about objective and teamwork. You need to work within your squad, within your team, to go get those objectives. And I think the maps they chose for this were way more close quarters and way less of what I remember, what I think of when I think of Battlefield. And we know that those maps are coming. We know that bigger maps are in the pipeline for the full release, but I found it a little odd that they chose to use the smaller maps only for the beta. And when they released the next map on weekend 2, the one in was it Manhattan, in the small American city, it was even smaller. And I was
Yeah,
like, okay,
I didn't
I
like
feel it feels weird. It feels weird that they did that. But I definitely think that I need to see what those bigger maps feel like
Yeah.
for me to fully buy in. What do you guys think?
I will say that I'm very much the more people, the harder it gets for me to track what's going on and how happy I am, which is why I think that these games have never really been my jam entirely. I think the most fun I had was just hanging out with my friends and, you know, like getting lightly tactical. But for me, this isn't. It's so big and there's just so much going on, and I don't feel like it's tactical enough for me in terms of what you're saying. I get what you're saying, I just don't know.
So I'm kind of in the middle between you both. So for example, I agree with Nicole, like maybe it's just my old man brain, but those maps were huge. For me anyways, those were massive. Like I had a hard time figuring out where I was getting shot from. I do agree what you said where some of the maps do feel small. That one that was in the like the Indian village, like I don't really know the map or like where the location was. There were people everywhere. Literally turned the corner, there were about like 5 guys just stood there. And
Yeah.
I had a hard time navigating that area just because everywhere I turned there were people there. So
It's mayhem.
it
Absolute
kind
mayhem.
it kind of feels like it's a bit of both. Like maybe that's what they're doing. I don't know. Maybe they're trying to like, get to the best of both worlds. Maybe they're trying to appeal to the people who like just small combat and run and gunning and stuff like that. And maybe they're also trying to inject some of the bigger scale battles.
The Call of Duty in there.
Well, just also to go back to what you were saying earlier as well about like the tactics and everything. Like I said, not played a Battlefield game since Battlefield 1, so I don't know the rules. I don't know how the games are supposed to operate. I just was running around like a Call of Duty player.
With a defib.
Sliding,
With a
slide.
defib just
Yes,
jumping.
defib is the goat. Support classes is the goat. But I was just running around and I was just basically
Everyone was
trying
running around
hard.
like it was Call of Duty.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like
that's
maybe
why I didn't like it.
yeah, and I feel like I'm in the same boat where like maybe that's why I didn't really vibe with it all that much as well, because everyone was just running around trying to get as many kills as possible. But then
Yeah.
when we were communicating with each other, especially on the map where you can just
Yeah.
see sniper glints everywhere you turn, you can just see snipers everywhere.
Oh my god.
You know,
Oh my God,
exactly,
Ashton and I had a
exactly which
bad
map I'm
first
talking about. You know
Liberation
exactly
Peak,
which one.
y'all. Liberation Peak, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
It's awesome.
I feel like I like the smaller, more tactical things where everything's a bit more slow moving and communication is key. While I feel like with this, you can mostly just ignore each other and do whatever you want, and you could probably still eke out a win.
But the thing is well, when we did start working together on the Rocky map with the snipers, we did have a rhythm. You know, we were communicating.
There was a
we were
rhythm,
saying
yeah.
like, okay, let's go
But
to
most
A,
of the
let's go
rhythm
to
was
B.
me yelling at everyone else of what to do. So.
But it worked though. That's the thing. That's the thing. It
You have
worked.
to have a squad leader, you know?
Worked.
You're just a squad leader.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing though, right? Like they are such big maps and they are so massive and they can feel daunting. I think part of the problem is a player-based problem at the start, right? A lot of people are coming into this open beta from like Nicole, not really playing Battlefield much. Sam, last experience was a Call of Duty. Like Call of Duty's progressed onward in a way that Battlefield hasn't.
I wouldn't use
Play
progress.
styles coming in.
Downgraded.
It's games have come out.
It is a game that
There's been-
exists.
There's been more Call of Duty games, right? And there's still the bigger one. If you're buying Battlefield, then you plan on playing it. The beta you can just try out. And I think a lot of like Call of Duty players were coming in and playing the game, or people who maybe they played Battlefield before, but they switched over to COD when Battlefield kind of went to shit, and are now coming back. And so those habits are still there, and that playstyle is being injected. And the maps they chose did not help against that, right? Like again, the
much
maps are too
rushing.
small because there
You're
was so much
rushing
like
everywhere.
close. There's so much close quarters combat, and it felt
Yeah.
Call of Duty-ish. That's not what Battlefield's supposed to feel like. In Battlefield, if you have a big map with 64 players and you're playing correctly, going off and running and doing your own thing is supposed to kill you. You're supposed to get punished for that, right? You're supposed to run into an objective by yourself. There's a whole squad of 4 people defending that objective and you just get murked. That's the whole point. But in this beta, I think people were going in because they're smaller maps and it felt better to do so. Going in, playing it more like Call of Duty with the running gun, solo wolf kind of thing. But I think maybe when the game fully comes out and you have to pay for it and the player base kind of weeds out that play style, it'll sort of settle again. But I think maybe because Battlefield hasn't exactly been in the best spots recently, that's kind of the problem with the beta. Is it was the players haven't figured out how Battlefield works again yet.
That's
and so
a
I'm
good
hoping
point,
when it comes
yeah.
out, that equalizes a little bit. If it
With-
doesn't, it's going to be a problem.
with Rainbow Six, we have the open weekends where it was like completely free and people would come and join, and we could see the playstyle change with the people that we were randomly grouped with. And I'd be like, all the Call of Duty kids are here, you can tell. And I was just like, oh my god. So yeah, you make a really good point there. The player base will probably eventually weasel out the people that just that it's not for. So.
Do you know? Here's the thing that I think it's done really well at. It's given people fun. These days, especially with like military shooters, it's all about competitive. It's all about getting the clip and having chat clip it so that you can use it for your YouTube shorts and whatever. It's all about that these days, like especially with the COD scene. But I've seen things online where people are genuinely sharing memories with each other and having fun with their friends. And it reminds me of when I was a wee lad and I was sharing clips with my friends and we were having fun. And I think that's what's really special about it. And I think that's why so many people really gravitate towards it, because it provides them with that, which is what you want at the end of the day. You don't want to get like outclassed by the sweaty guy with no life and just wants to get the quick scope. You don't want that. Like, you actually want to just relax and have fun and have good memories and watch your friends get blown up and laugh at them, you know?
Going to your point, Sam, like, there is Battlefield as a competitive military shooter, and it's what I've been describing, which is the, you know, the tactical but big maps, you know, and all that stuff going on. But then there's also the side of like going on YouTube, looking up Battlefield, and just watching clips of people like jet jump, like fly up on a jet, jump out of the jet.
Renzaduke, is it called?
Like fucking spin around and snipe somebody, and then fall into another jet and take it, and then fly off again. And it's like the weird, crazy shit people do in Battlefield, because again, the maps are so huge that like you can do just silly shit. Like, you can just use a jet in a weird way, and like it's hilarious and it's awesome. And that's the kind of shit that I've been missing, because like Battlefield 1 had some of that, but though, you know, it was World War One, and so the technology that they put into the game, you know, the type of planes and stuff weren't as suited for it. The guns weren't as suited for it. But this is like modern, you know, the jets are flying like crazy and stuff like that. You can do really silly shit in this one.
I will say as well, one of the things I did complain about, which is one of my issues with military shooters, is the fact that you have to set up all your weapons before you go in. And if people are a higher level, they do have a better set of weapons and attachments to just give them that little edge from playing longer. And I didn't enjoy that, because I felt like there were so many people who are higher levels who had a bit of an advantage. Not a huge one, but a little bit. Growing up playing Halo and stuff, my favorite thing was everyone is on the same level because they all have the same weapons, and you have to fight to get the good stuff. And that's something that I love for the balance. And I felt like there's always been for me an imbalance with these kind of military shooters.
But
so.
you gotta kind of think of it like this, right? It's not the same as Halo. The
I know,
DNA is different.
But that's just my preference. So
yeah,
that's
I'm the same
me.
as you. I prefer that. Like, I prefer controlling power weapons on maps and stuff like that. Like, that's...
I was getting annoyed because I was like, that guy clearly has a better whole setup than me, and I remember picking up his gun, being like, this is completely different from what I have available to me. This is bullshit.
Well,
and I know it's not, but it's, for me, I'm like, yeah.
But it's the same thing with like old school Call of Duty, like the original Modern Warfare 2. When as soon as you saw someone with a scar hit, you were like, oh, they're gonna dominate every single person on this map, and they would. But it's just
I didn't like it then either.
Yeah, no, I get you. And then you copy him, and then you would just completely suck. You're just like, what are they doing? What are they smoking? Nicole's frozen.
Uh-oh.
And there she goes.
There she goes. There she goes. All right, well, back to it.
Yeah, what are we talking about?
I want to talk a little bit about the gun feel, because we're talking about guns already, and I want to talk a little bit about how they actually feel, because it's on one side, I think that all the guns are like fine, like they all, there's some that are better, like the shotgun was absolutely busted. Insane. And it should not have been any close to that kind of power. Like, you could snipe people with it. I was like, what are we talking about?
Correct me if I'm wrong, though, Ashton. Wasn't there a shotgun in Battlefield 3 where you could literally like kill people from across the map if you just kept?
I don't know, but
down?
they've had a problem, because like Battlefield 1's beta had a problem with shotguns too. Like, it feels like shotguns, they just way overbalance them at the beginning, and they figure it out later. I don't know, they just really like it. But outside of that, and there's some guns that are like just probably better than others, but I generally felt that the guns felt fine. Like, I thought that they lacked a little bit of a punch, you know. Hello, cat.
Cat jump scare.
they they lack a little bit of a punch to me. Like they don't feel as powerful as they probably should be. But there's enough variety there that like if you want to play, you know, a weapon that is maybe higher rapid fire, you're gonna have a little bit of a drawback of the recoil, right? Or if you want to play, you know, a sniper and one shot kill, it's going to be bolt action. So you're going to get one shot off, and if you miss, you're going to have to wait a little while as you reload it and stuff like that. And so I thought the gun feel was fine. It's not as good as like Battlefield 1 that I thought had the best gun feel of all of them so far. Personally, everything just felt really chunky and really good to shoot and to use. But you know, I thought it was fine. I think a lot of the balancing is going to change when the official game comes out. But what did you guys feel about actually using these guns and how they feel?
Well,
as someone with no prior experience, they felt fine.
Yeah, I'm the same as Nicole. Like, I was just going to ask though, like, what would you define as like a good feeling gun? Because for me, I need to feel the power of that gun, but not to the point where like
does it feel strong? Man?
But
like,
not
does it feel like?
But not to the point where like I'm spraying everywhere, all over, and I've got no control over it. That's the best kind of gun for me.
Like when I shoot the shotgun, if I'm playing a shooter and I shoot a shotgun, I need that thing to feel like I am getting kicked by a horse. You know what I mean? Like I need to feel that kickback. Battlefield 1 or Battlefield 6 didn't really feel like that. Kind of felt like I shot it and it was like it was missing a kinetic energy that I really was hoping for, and yet it was still super powerful. So there's a little bit of a disparity, you know, in that sense. That's kind of what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Like if you shoot the sniper rifle, it should feel like like you should feel that shit, but you kind of don't. It kind of just feels like boop, and there it goes. All right, now I gotta reload. You know, it's like there's a base missing from it. I feel like.
But I kind of feel like to the point, especially with like military shooters again, it gets to the point where like there's a lot of weight with the guns. You know what I mean? Like, it's for me, sniper rifles, for example, there's a lot of weight with those things. A lot of weight. And I guess, obviously, you know, sniper rifle, high power, whatever. But just going back to, like, some of the older military shooter games, like, I'll bring up, like, Modern Warfare 2 again. The intervention in Modern Warfare 2 did have that powerful feeling, but it didn't feel like I was literally carrying it on my back all the time. Does that make sense? Am I making sense?
I feel like it should, right? Like if you're using a big, heavy, powerful rifle, you should feel like you're holding a big, heavy, powerful rifle.
But does it translate well to gameplay,
feel like you're holding
though?
a noodle. You know what I mean?
I felt that the weapons could have maybe felt a little bit more, I don't know, I would have liked to feel more of the recoil in the controller, like some of the vibration just a bit more intense. I don't know, that's just me. So, but it's not, I'm not ever going to sit there and go less. You know, I want more for my immersion. But
that's fair.
me.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I thought they were fine. I thought they were alright. You know,
Yeah.
I felt I've used better guns in games. I've used worse guns in games. Like yeah, whatever.
One thing that has been sort of the topic of controversy, or I guess divisiveness, I've noticed online, is the class system. Because we do have the classes. We have assault, we have support, we have engineer, and we have recon, which are pretty classic Battlefield classes, you know? So there's two different modes in Battlefield that you can really play, right? You can play open guns, which is like the normal modes, like you play Conquest or whatever. You can pretty much use whatever gun you want in any of the classes, right? So it's very open, very, you know, malleable. And then you have closed weapon, which is where only specific guns can be used by specific classes. And that was a big sort of dividing point that I found online, in which a lot of people who are sort of the more diehard Battlefield fans really prefer the closed weapons. I don't think I played any of the closed weapon types, closed weapon game modes, because it's really just like, if you play Conquest, there's a regular Conquest, you capture all the objectives, or there's closed weapon, right? So it kind of made, I can see the point, it kind of makes the classes feel a little unnecessary. Like it kind of feels like you are, the only difference between the classes is one can revive faster, like if you're playing support, or one can give you supplies if you're playing engineer, stuff like that, which I get that point. I think there needs to be like a mix, right? I don't think you should be able to play support like an engineer, which is supposed to be more of a, you know, like use a big ass machine gun with the thing that pops open and you have to do the whole line thing to reload it, and should be carrying like heavy weapons like RPGs to take out tanks and stuff, but also be able to just run around with a sniper rifle with that same class. Like it feels a little off if you're able to do that. what did you guys feel about the classes like in general? Like, did you feel like they were defined? Did you feel like you enjoyed playing specific classes? Like, how did you feel about the classes?
I mean, I only ever played one class. Support.
I went between assault and recon,
Support.
and I mainly went recon just because it was that kind of class that supported me, mainly like DMR sniper type stuff. But I didn't really see much of a difference. I didn't really care. I was kind of like, why do I care what class I'm picking? The only time I think I would have cared is if I was support, but rest of the time I was like, meh, nah. Yeah, I would have liked a bit more definition, a bit more of a reason to pick stuff. I realized after a little while that you could just transfer and put different weapons on different stuff, and I went, oh, this is bull. This is not why I do this, you know? It's supposed to be set up a certain way. So, yeah, I was not a big fan of the class system, but that was just me.
Like I said, I only actually played one class, which was support again. And I think that's mostly because my playstyle with these certain kind of games is I like to play the healer. That's just me. I like to play the healer, and I just generally just gravitate towards that a lot. I don't know what it is, and I think mostly it's because of the fact I can literally just heal myself and I can heal people, and I feel like I'm actually contributing something to the team. That's why I always gravitate towards it. I did try recon, and then I realized that snipers really aren't my thing in this game, which is fine. Assault, I think I tried. Actually, I tried that like once. Is that the one where you had the rocket launcher?
No, that's engineer.
Assault's the main one, just basic, just shooty.
Okay, so I started out with assault. Assault was very basic, and then engineer I tried once because I wanted the rocket launcher, and then I stuck with support after that, and then I tried recon a little bit. Support for me is the one that I gravitate most towards. And yet, really, like that's I think really I can't really contribute anything to that discussion because I only actually played one class.
Oh, the defib kills.
Defib,
yeah.
Yes. Got a defib kill. My life is complete. I can die happy now.
You just one shot people if you defib them. It's just really hard because you're running up to them and they have a gun.
I only ever got one. I was running around with the defibs being like charging them up and trying to kill people. That's the fun part, though.
The most fun I had was the comic relief from Sam just being a doofus.
He's sliding over. Ugh, there you go.
I think at this point we can kind of get to the end here and summarize thing. I guess I only have there's really one important question, and it's the question that the open beta, I feel like, needs to have a good answer for everybody who played it. And it is, did the open beta excite or convince you to buy Battlefield 6 when it drops? Let's start with the newest member here. Nicole, are you going to pick up Battlefield 6 at launch after this experience?
No. I enjoyed it, but all it made me do was go, I have Rainbow Six, which is for me the definitive best collaborative shooter I've ever played. You know, that it's so tactical, it's all about communication, and it's very intense. It's not a game where I'm having a lot of fun. It's a game in which if I'm not doing well, it's like the worst thing ever, and if I do well, it's better than sex. So that's that. And then I have Halo, which is my relax, I want to run around and shoot stuff game. I just feel like this is just not enough. To me, it's just another military shooter that I'm going to be uninterested in. And the only thing that made me interested was you guys. So if it was ever cheap, I'd consider it, but that's it.
Sam?
Unfortunately, I'm the same as Nicole. We're not going to be getting this at full price. I'm so sorry. I enjoyed it. for my time, but the thing is that like, I feel like that I'm not the target audience for this, and that's fine. There's no problem with it. I know obviously you can see the numbers on the Steam charts. Like there's hundreds of thousands of people who are the target audience for it, hundreds of thousands who are checking it out, and hundreds of thousands who are probably going to buy it as well. But for me, I'm not the target audience for it. I'm kind of done with military shooters. I think they're all the same. Kind of thing like Call of Duty.
Rainbow Six. Come play it.
I'll see. We'll check it out.
Yeah, hurry up.
Check it out. But I think that like maybe I'm not exactly the target audience for this genre anymore. I've got other games. I've got other shooter games. Halo. Always love Halo. Like with Nicole. Like I've always.
Should we go play some after this?
Yeah, why not? I've always got different things that I can always go to. But I appreciate Battlefield for what it was trying to do, and I do think that it's going to be a success. I will say though, history is repeating itself. Call of Duty is in the shit right now. Battlefield is popular. There was once upon a time where Infinite Warfare came out and Battlefield 1 came out, and it kind of feels like to me that history is repeating itself. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sit back and I'm just going to watch the chaos unfold.
For me, the highest, the most positive on this group. The problem for me is you guys. You guys are the problem.
Huh.
Because for me to play Battlefield 6, for me to buy Battlefield 6, I need people to play with. And so if I don't have people to play with, then I will not buy it. However, if I was somebody who had a group to play with, and I had, I knew that they were going to pick it up and I was going to pick it up, I would pick it up. I think this is a good Battlefield experience. I think we're returning to Battlefield 3 and 4. I don't think it's quite at that level yet. We'll see when the full games comes out with all the guns in the game, with, the refinement of the game modes and stuff that they'll end up doing, with the bigger maps that'll actually feel like Battlefield. I think there is a lot of potential here for Battlefield to return to greatness, and I really look forward to that. It just depends on, I am not at a point where I think like Battlefield 1, where I can play it just solo and then occasionally play with friends. I feel like this is definitely like a dependent thing. I will say though, I think I might have one or two, I think I might have enough friends who will pick it up for me to buy it. So I think if you're a Battlefield fan that's looking for a return to form, I think you should pick this up. I think for me, as sort of that kind of person and who potentially has enough people to play it, I think I probably will be picking up Battlefield 6. And hopefully once it comes out, it lives up to the promise that the beta didn't exactly fulfill, but that I can see at the end of the road. So that's kind of where I'm at on it.
One last question for Ashton. Is it better than Battlefield Hardline?
Yes. So what do you guys think about Battlefield 6? Did you play the open beta? What did you think about it? Comment down below. Let us know. And don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed this kind of content. And we're going to see you on the next one. Peace.
Bye-bye.